In 2024, I made a video about a teenager who decided it would be in her best interest to take the life of her own mother and call the police claiming it was a home invasion, all under the basis of arguments between teenager and mother surrounding transitioning.
Palm Bay police say a 16-year-old girl killed her mother and mother's boyfriend in this home behind us. Good afternoon, I'm Greg Wormuth.
And I'm Martha Sigalski. Investigators say the murder happened amid a strained relationship between that teenager and her mother. Police found the couple shot to death in a home on Banker Road Northwest near Malabar Road on Sunday. Investigators headed out there when they say that teen called 911 with a made-up story about a break-in. Channel 9's Nick Pampantonis live at the police department. And Nick, police say that lie, though, quickly fell apart.
Yeah, they said some of the evidence was right in front of them. They said the teen confessed to an ambush-style attack where she waited for them to come home, said welcome home, and then opened fire. And again, some of that evidence that showed that her story was fake, they said was right in front of them.
I mean, it's horrible.
Neighbors shocked to learn the large scene of flashing lights on Bencher Road Northwest early Sunday morning was police responding to the murders of a 38-year-old woman and her 22-year-old boyfriend.
They're nice people. They're waving every time they, every time they pass by in this area, they're waving to us.
Police say the killer was the woman's 16-year-old daughter, Julia Egler. They say Egler called 911, claiming someone broke through the back slider. The teen reported hearing lots of screaming and 5 or 6 gunshots while she locked herself and her dogs in the bedroom. But investigators say the story didn't hold up. Glass was found on top of the bodies and bloody footprints matching Egler's shoes. And police say security camera video showed no one broke in. Neighbors said the girl recently tried to run away.
2 weeks ago when I was driving home, there was this whole street was lined with police officers and dogs and stuff.
Officers say Egler confessed she killed her mom and boyfriend with her mother's gun because she didn't approve of their relationship, and her mother didn't accept Egler's decision to change genders. She said things reached a boiling point.
Whoever do it, hope she's gonna be pay for it or whatever she do, because she don't have the right to do that.
And at the time, I viewed that to be dumb, and I just left it at that because no matter how anyone tries to slice it, you're going to run into individuals who disagree with you. So the best course of action is to just find where you'll be accepted instead of taking the life of your own mother. But this topic has come back to the front of people's minds because of the videos that have surfaced of the interrogation between officer and said teenager, where you get this tasty nugget.
Now, as the interview continues, Julia describes frequent arguments with her mother, Kelly McCullum, particularly about her gender identity. And she tells detectives that she felt misgendered at home. And she says that the issue was brought up repeatedly during fights.
Well, me and her would have a lot of arguments about things, especially over me being trans. So she'd be like, okay, you're not a real boy and blah, 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 and all, the whole spiel of transphobic stuff.
Okay.
But
she doesn't approve of your lifestyle she doesn't approve of that.
Would you say that
she was trying to kind of meet me in the middle, but it wasn't really working all that well all the time. She would try to call me child instead of, because it's more gender neutral rather than kind of meeting in the middle, I guess.
Okay. So, I could tell obviously this frustrated you. Is this a root of a lot of the arguments, or does it maybe not the root, or ends up being brought up in these arguments?
It's the thing that was brought up a lot in arguments.
Is she misgendering you?
Yeah.
So when you guys are arguing, is she intentionally, calling you she, or not using the appropriate pronouns, or not referring to you as Jasper and referring to you as Julia?
I feel as though I can satisfy my own body with the idea being set into people's minds that I am right once again. You will run into people who don't agree, who will struggle to understand, and even in compromising, that'll still be a problem for some individuals. And your best course of action is to just find people who will accept you. And I need to stress that I'm saying that primarily for the adults, because one thing that I still can't recognize in in my mind, no matter how much people try to get me to understand it, is kids and teenagers recognizing that their life is so shit that the only course of action that could make their life better is transitioning. Because to me, and it's just me, you can either agree or disagree, I don't necessarily care. When you go to that drastic step, I believe you should be a full-fledged adult. I don't think you should be going through any process to where you're changing who you are for the benefit of, I guess, your own mental state or how you feel deep inside. Because I have to think about the people who've done that and detransition and how they're ostracized and somehow called transphobic, or how they spew transphobic rhetoric for recognizing that something that they did when they were younger isn't really for them, and somehow that makes them a bad person. I think what's really gotten me is that video of the dumbass who said the first victim of that school shooting was the shooter because of how bigoted that small community might be. Listen to me, and listen to me very carefully, because I know sometimes I may say something that may lead to a little bit of interpretation from somebody who has a nail in the back of their head, so they're a little bit slower than everybody else. But you can disagree with the lifestyle of people and not die. You can operate under the basis of not capitulating or cowing down or affirming things that you don't necessarily believe in and not die. And you, as the person who's not getting your feelings identified or cared about, you have the option and the choice to move the subject in a different direction. That way you're not as triggered as you claim to be. That way you don't somehow go to an ice rink and shoot your wife that apparently was your first blood cousin. You don't go to a school and shoot up a bunch of 12 and 13-year-olds because I guess in a small community they were raised to be so transphobic at an early age. You don't kill your mother and claim it was a home invasion. You make it seem as if you have people who, if you don't care about them 24/7, they'll kill you. And that makes it easier for other people that you claim as transphobic to say, these motherfuckers are mentally unwell, get them the fuck away from children, or they're going to make children out to be just like this at a younger age instead of the older ages. And if you don't want that line of rhetoric to become more popularized than what it already is, it would be in your best interest to heed the words out of my mouth. When you walk this earth and you are fully who you want to be, you need to interact with people who already agree with you, who already have the same thoughts as you. Yes, go find your fucking echo chamber, because the minute you step around people who disagree, it seems like your entire mask falls apart and you don't know how to operate, to the point where you start demanding, begging, and pleading motherfuckers agree with you. And you can't rationalize that on this earth, people will disagree with you. And at that point, you have a come to Jesus moment. You can either accept the fact that people are going to disagree with you and walk away, or I guess kill them, thinking that that's going to save anything. And spoiler alert, it does not. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. I already know what you think because we all have the same mind. Killing people over disagreements, very fucking stupid. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Mwah. Bye-bye.